Welcome to GBALL VISION, everyone. Tonight we are talking about some of my favorite EDC knives of all time. There's not going to be a price limit set on this one. It's just going to be a general list. And I'd like to kick it off with the Vero Impulse Mini. Now, as you can see, this knife is not so mini. This is really a full-size knife. It does have an M390 blade. This bad boy is coming in 7 3/4 inches roughly, so it's not a mini by any sense of the imagination. But you have a nice Tanto blade here, PVD coated. You have a cutout there for deployment, as well as the rear flipper, which works extremely well. You have stonewashed titanium handles, nice chamfered edges and softened edges, tie backspacer and pocket clip. Great access to the lock bar there with the chamfer. Has incredibly good action as well, whether it's the reverse flick or the flipper tab. This is mainly a righty knife. You know, it's based on a knife for a righty. I believe he makes a lefty version, or he will be at some point. But this is more right hand biased, but a lefty could use this knife, you know, if they didn't really care. But this is a fantastic EDC knife. It's got, you know, a great blade shape to do a lot of your day-to-day tasks. It's comfortable. It's great looking. This could fit in a ton of different situations. It's very gentlemanly, but it's also very well built, and you could definitely use this pretty hard if need be. The Vero Impulse Mini is a fantastic EDC. Let's get to the next one. So we're going in the complete opposite side of the spectrum here. This is a USA made, where this is a Bestech made. Both premium knives in their own rights, though. This is the Spyderco Shaman. You have a PVD coated S30V blade, which it is razor sharp but built like a tank. You have the opening hole for deployment, and you can use this as a front flipper. With some practice and a little wrist flick, you can get it, but it's not a front flipper. It just can be front flipped, so you'll have to kind of take that for what it is. If your thumb's tough enough, you could do it, you know, a couple of times, but it's definitely not the best way to open this knife. And then it comes standard with a normal Spyderco clip. This has a Lynx Northwest deep carry clip, all black, and that's kind of the theme I'm sticking with this knife. But this knife is extremely comfortable, nice and pokey, nice and slicey. The Shaman kind of speaks for itself. Definitely a fantastic EDC knife. One of the best EDC knives ever, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Next up, we have the EMP EDC Nimble X. This is the version 1, and I had one of these on pre-order, you know, so I got it as soon as they were released, and I've been carrying and using this thing ever since then, and it is still, I still find this knife just as amazing as I did when I first unboxed it. It is built beautifully. It's an absolute tank, and it's comfortable. Everything about it is perfect in my opinion. The EMP EDC Nimble X version 1 has M390 steel. This is a modified sheep's foot drop point blade. You have a fuller and cutout front flipper and rear flipper, frag titanium. You have coated titanium hardware. Great access to the lock bar there, and the detent on this is perfect. It is perfect. this is some of the best on a production knife that I currently have. It is fantastic. You can wind up on it, but it's not too strong to the point where, you know, it kind of annoys you. This is absolutely perfect for that cutout. And then the rear flipper, it's tuned great. And then the front flipper works fantastic. This knife speaks for itself as well. Fantastic EDC knife, comfortable, great looking, fun to deploy and use. Definitely one of my favorites of all time. Had a ton of use. Still looks fantastic other than a few fingerprints. This thing is fantastic. I don't think any of them are available either. I think you can still get a... Can you get a Tanto V2? And you can get a Relative and a Ronin, or at least you could upon making this video. But no Nimble X's in stock right now. I'm sure more are coming. So if you're interested in a version 2, or you can go on the secondary and look. But the version 1 will be pretty hard to get, I'm thinking. You might be able to get a V2 on the secondary, though. Let's get to the next one. So in this list, I'm putting knives that I've had for quite a while and that I've really used the piss out of. I think with the exception of the Shaman, which I've had for a couple months at this point. These other ones I've had for quite a long time and used a ton, not just a week or two or a month. I'm talking about, you know, a year of use or more on some of these. But this is the Quiet Carry Drift coming in VanX, super clean, dual thumb studs for deployment. You have a nice tumbled drop point blade. It is thin and it is ultra slicey. Comes down nice and thin. It is fantastic. This is like atom thin, if not thinner. Knurled titanium show side, titanium frame lock, wire pocket clip. Nice finish on the titanium. Looks great. Hardware. You have black hardware down here, and then your pivot is matching the blade. Action's fantastic. Ergos are phenomenal, and this thing just keeps working, keeps cutting. Still has the factory edge on it, and I don't think I've even stropped this thing, and it is still just razor sharp. Great pocket knife, and I believe these are in stock. At least some form of this knife is in stock. Fantastic. One of the best EDC knives of all time for sure. Let's go ahead and we'll check out the next one. Another one of my longtime favorite EDC knives is the Ferrum Forge Dowel. And this is also at a great price. It's a great value for the most part. At least they used to be. This has a beautiful blade shape for an EDC knife. You have that nice low tip, nice finger choil there. Great for an index precision style cut, getting in behind things. Anything that you could need to do, this will do perfectly. You have a nice satin blade, opening hole, and rear flipper tab. I believe these were an S35 VN. Yes, S35 VN. Titanium frame lock, milled clip, and titanium backspacer. Action is perfect on this thing, or almost perfect. It has a nice detent. I think these were OEM by We, but I'm not 100% sure who OEM these. Was it We? I could be wrong. Either way, it's done fantastic. Whoever did OEM this, they're nice and thin, Pretty thin blade stock. You have some jimping there. Locks you in perfectly. This is a fantastic pure EDC knife. And that's all we're talking about. We're not talking about work related. This is strictly EDC. And this knife is perfect for an EDC. Neutral handle, couple different grips, nice and easy to cut with, good access to the lock bar, action's fun, fidgety, you can thumb flick it. Yeah, this is an awesome EDC knife. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. This next one is one of my favorites of all time as well. The Eric Oaks Lynx, and this is also a drop collaboration, just like the Ferrum Forge Dowel is. This is coming in RWL 34. You have this awesome blade shape. It still has a nice pokey tip with an extremely thick blade stock. It is extremely thick. It's crowned. It's ridiculous, but it's a hollow, so it comes down just nice and thin. It's perfect the way it is. The blade shape is fantastic. You get all that belly, but the way it drops down there at the very end, it gives it that nice pokey tip still. Full finger choil, dual thumb studs that are well done. You have a flipper tab as well, which works very good. I don't know who OEM these either. For some reason I want to say Riot, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then there is your lock bar with a nice chamfer. Action is good. Sometimes that flipper tab can hit you before it's past the detent. Sometimes if you're too high, but typically, you know, you're past it and the action is fantastic. Acoustics are great. I think that's G10, and that is also finished very well. You have some like micro milling done in it, some nice lines. It's comfortable. Great EDC knife. I love this thing. Titanium pocket clip, G10 backspacer. Definitely a fantastic EDC knife, and this one won't break the bank either. It's probably around 150 bucks, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I think a little less probably, but for what you're getting here, it's fantastic. Let's go ahead and we'll get to the next one. Next up is one of my all-time favorite knives, favorite EDC knives. This is the Hogue Ritter, or the Hogue RSK, and this has a PVD coated 20 CV drop point blade, dual thumb studs for deployment. You have Hogue's Able Lock, G10 handles, I believe, or no, are these, they might be FRN. No, it's G10, I think. No, it's FRN. I forget. Might be FRN. You have a nice pocket clip that is standard hardware from Hogue, which is nice. This is also a great price. One of the best EDC knives ever. Jimping up the spine there. Great blade shape. Nice drop point. Good neutral handle with some swell at the back. Very comfortable. Love this jimping here. It's just nice and it's comfy. It's good stuff. Grippy. I don't know how to describe that area there where they do that. Spyderco does it too with like the Mannix too. It's just nice and comfy. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I love it though. Let me know what you think of these top 6 or 7 knives. 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Let me know what you think of these 7 great EDC knives. Let me know what you would throw up in here. We'll do some more just like this. Some of my favorite EDCs of all time. But when I thought of this video, this is exactly what I thought of right here. Different styles, different shapes, different materials. All great knives in their own right, and definitely proven knives to me and to many others as well. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you're new and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below the video. Otherwise, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.